So we are nearly at the end of the topic, some gases, right? Hydrogen gas, nitrogen gas, and what is completed? Oxygen gas is completed. Now we are going to discuss another gas. One gas is there. Its molecular formula is O3. See? Molecular formula is O3. How it became O3? Very simple. Here is oxygen molecule plus one nascent oxygen reacts together. Oxygen molecule reacts with nascent. Nascent means newly formed atomic form of oxygen. It is very reactive. Nascent, what is spelling? N-A-S-C-E-N-T. Nascent oxygen is atomic form of oxygen which is highly reactive. Atomic form of oxygen which is highly reactive. Like nascent hydrogen, atomic form of hydrogen which is highly reactive. Nascent nitrogen, atomic form of nitrogen which is highly reactive. Understood or not? Atomic form and highly reactive, these things you have to mention. Oxygen plus nascent oxygen molecule plus nascent oxygen in presence of UV rays. What does it form? Ozone. So ozone needs UV rays to form. But again, ozone depletes, breaks down in presence of UV rays. UV rays are responsible for formation of ozone. UV rays are responsible for destruction of ozone. But where is ozone found? What is ozone? Now we are going to discuss. Ozone. What is the molecular formula? O3. Remember. What is given here? Please see. What is this? Ozone is a pale, means light, pale blue natural gas composed of 3 atoms of oxygen. So O3. And the name ozone was proposed by Soret in which year? 1863. Okay. And what is the meaning of ozone? No smell or to smell. Ozone means not no smell, to smell. Okay. And one thing we have to keep in mind, directly ozone is harmful to us. If we inhale, it will create some problems. But if it is far away, it has got many more benefits. Do you know where is ozone found? Ozone is found nearer to us or a bit far away? A bit far away. Where? In atmosphere. Where is it located? Atmosphere. Could you remember the 5 layers of atmosphere? The lowermost layer is, what is that? Troposphere. And next layer is stratosphere. The next one is mesosphere. Next one is, what is next? Thermosphere. Next one is, how many layers of atmosphere are there? 5 layers. According to presence of air particles, their density, atmosphere is divided into 5 layers. Lowermost is troposphere. Next one is stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. So, in at stratosphere, between 15 kilometer to 50 kilometer, right? This is the layer where stratosphere lies. There is presence of ozone gas. Here is presence of more amount of which gas? Ozone. In stratosphere, we get mainly nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, etc. But when we go in upper layer, above 15 kilometer till 50 kilometer, there is more amount of which gas? Ozone. So the layer of stratosphere which contains more amount of ozone gas, that is called ozone layer. What do you call it? ozone layer. There is huge amount of O3. What is next heading here? How is ozone formed? Very easy. So one thing you have to remember, I just said ozone is formed because of UV rays. What is the full form of UV rays? Ultraviolet rays. From where do the ultraviolet rays come? Sun. The sunlight, or when the sun emits energy, it emits infrared rays, ultraviolet rays, and visible light. Three things. Because of infrared rays, we feel hot, right? Because of visible light, we are able to see the objects. And UV rays is harmful. But that harmful rays, they are all absorbed by ozone. But one thing you have to remember, UV rays, they have got different frequency. I mean, some UV rays, they are like this. Actually, UV rays are electromagnetic waves. What are they? Means they move making crest and throw, and some UV rays, they have got such type of frequency. UV rays. That means which has more frequency or more wavelength? Which has more wavelength? Tell me. Suppose this is A type of UV rays, this is B type. Lambda 1, lambda 2. Lambda 1, what is lambda? Wavelength. What is wavelength? Distance between two crests, that is called wavelength. Or distance between two throws, that is called wavelength. Don't forget a thing. There must be full-fledged concentration, what the teacher is saying. So, which has more wavelength or longer wavelength, A or B? A has longer wavelength than B. Means frequency means how many cycles are made in 1 second. Like here are more cycles or here are more cycles? Yeah. B. It means B has high or more frequency. B has more frequency, right? And A has longer wavelength. That means all UV rays are not of similar type. Some have longer wavelength, some have shorter wavelength. Understood or not? On the basis of that longer wavelength and shorter wavelength, there is formation as well as destruction of ozone. Where? In Earth's atmosphere. This is Earth. And what is this one? Do you know what is this? This is atmosphere, and here is presence of which gas? Which gas? O3. Let's say this is troposphere and that is stratosphere. Okay, ozone is here. When the sunlight falls on it, it comes mainly three things. One is infrared rays, visible light, and what is that? UV rays. I told UV rays, they are of different frequency or wavelength. More frequency, less frequency, short wavelength, long wavelength. So, if it has got short frequency, it cannot travel long distance. If long frequency, it can travel more distance. So, UV rays with more frequency can come up to this down, and it can break down. Which one? Ozone, UV rays. What is formed? When UV rays fall on O3, it breaks down into oxygen molecule and nascent oxygen. That nascent oxygen reacts with again oxygen in presence of UV rays, and what does it form? Oxygen. Ozone breaks down and oxygen is formed. From oxygen again what is formed? Ozone. How? Here is oxygen molecule. What is here? UV rays, O plus O, oxygen molecules plus O, UV rays. What is formed here? Now you pay attention here. For formation and destruction of ozone, there is great role of UV rays. When UV rays fall on oxygen molecule, what will happen? Breaks down into oxygen atom, and oxygen atom reacts with oxygen molecule in presence of UV rays. What is formed? Okay, this is the method of formation of ozone. Ozone is formed naturally in atmosphere. Naturally in high altitude, in upper layer of stratosphere, ozone gas is formed. But in lower layer, ozone is destroyed. So formation at the upper layer, destruction at formation is done by the help of UV rays, destruction is done by the help of UV rays. Formation as well as destruction. The process is equal. But nowadays, what are we doing? Are we producing different type of chemicals or not? Because of production of that chemical, ozone at the lower level is broken down into oxygen more quantity. Means amount of ozone is increasing or decreasing? Decreasing. It means rate of destruction is higher. That process is called depletion of ozone layer. Now make concept clear. In the atmosphere, ozone is formed in upper layer. Ozone is destroyed at lower layer. But because of our activities, destruction rate is much more higher than formation rate. As a result, amount of ozone has increased or decreased. And this phenomenon is called ozone layer depletion. Ozone layer depletion. In a movie there is villain. Yes or no? For destruction of ozone also there is one villain. Who is that villain? That villain is CFC. What is that? Chlorofluorocarbon. Did you find something in somewhere else in your book? Chlorofluorocarbon. So chloro, F-L-U-O-R-O, carbon. This is one chemical. When this chemical reaches in lower part of stratosphere, where there is ozone gas, CF2Cl2. It is the molecular formula of chlorofluorocarbon. It breaks down into nascent chlorine, CF2Cl plus what is formed here? Nascent chlorine. That nascent chlorine reacts with oxygen in presence of, and what is formed? Chloroaxine, right? Then again it breaks down into Cl plus O, and this Cl is the main villain. The chlorine present in chlorofluorocarbon reacts continuously with oxygen and ozone and forms, what does it form? But here I will show you this one. This here Cl plus O3, ClO plus what is formed? O2. This ClO or this nascent chlorine, it is the main villain of ozone layer depletion. So let's see here whether there is chemical reaction or not. Is there chemical reaction? Check here. CF2Cl2. This is chlorofluorocarbon. What is this? Because of UV rays, it breaks down into CF2Cl plus. Here is a nascent chlorine. Atomic form of chlorine is there, right? If there is atomic form of any gas, that is called nascent. Nascent nitrogen, Nascent oxygen. What is this? Nascent nitrogen. Is it? Nascent hydrogen. Nitrogen they are saying. What is this? What is this? What is this? Chlorine. Atomic form, right? They are highly reactive. So, nascent chlorine is formed. Nascent chlorine reacts with ozone and chlorine monoxide ClO is formed. And which gas is produced here? Oxygen. ClO breaks down into Cl and O. O reacts with O3 and again what is formed here? Oxygen. Again villain is here. Which is the villain? This Cl reacts with another O3 and breaks down into ClO plus O2. One molecule of CFC can destroy 10 to the power 5 molecule of. It is a great villain, great destroyer. So this is a chain reaction. Boys don't talk. Continuously there is destruction. Here is given. One chlorine can deplete 1 lakh molecules of ozone before it is removed from the atmosphere. So are we producing such type of gases regularly or not? We are producing such type of gases regularly because these gases are used in mainly refrigerator. Where? For cooling purposes. And there are other villains also. Not only chlorofluorocarbon, other villains are there. What are they? CFC. What is here? HFC. Then next one, CH3Br, CCl4, HBCF, ODS. We have to remember. ODS. What is the full form of ODS? Ozone depleting substances. They are the main threat for ozone. Because of their action, ozone breaks down into simpler substances and forms oxygen. It's given here. Where are they used? So many things. They are used in refrigerants, air condition. Yes or no? So, and not only that, there are others. Oxides of nitrogen. Oxide of nitrogen means NO2, nitrogen dioxide, NO, nitric oxide, N2O, nitrous oxide. They are also ozone depleting substances. Because of their action, ozone breaks down and forms what? Oxygen. Here we have to remember another thing, ozone hole. Have you heard about this? Scientists, they were doing experiments continuously over the Antarctica, and one day they found that in some region in the sky there was no ozone. Ozone was finished and there was a hole-like structure. It means there was the place where no ozone was left. All ozone was depleted. And what is it called? Ozone hole. So if we continuously use the ODS for a long time, then what will happen? All the ozone will finish, then nothing will be left. That is called ozone hole. But now there is no ozone hole, but the layer of ozone has become thicker or thinner? Thinner. That is ozone layer depletion. See, this reaction we have to remember how it has happened. And if the layer of ozone depletes, then if the layer of ozone depletes, then we will have some problems, right? What are problems are there? Number one, human health. Our health is affected. We may suffer from skin cancer, cataract, that motia bindu, and our skin becomes black in color. Color changes. Animals are also affected. Their breeding capacity, formation of babies also affected. Plants cannot grow well. Actually, when ozone layer is depleted, which rays come on our earth? One thing you keep in mind, ozone layer absorbs 99% UV rays. But if there is no ozone gas, then more amount of ultraviolet rays come on the earth's surface or not. Then if it is exposed to our skin, or if it falls in our skin or naked body parts, it affects us. For animals also, plants also, and ecosystem is also affected. Plants and animals, they cannot survive. Then there is no transfer of energy from one organism to another. And next thing, what will be there? Increase in temperature. Earth's temperature increases. If there is a will, there is a if there is a will, there is a way, right? Then here are some measures to be safe from ozone layer depletion. What to do? Production of ODS should be increased or decreased? Increase, yeah. We have to produce more ozone depleting substances? We have to decrease. Yes or no? And another HCF should be focused. Hydrochloro fluorides, right? HCFs. Because there shouldn't be C. Chlorine is harmful. And eco-friendly natural products should be used. Nowadays, people, they are focusing on electric vehicles or not. So we have to emphasize on it. And biopesticides should be used. What do you mean by pesticide? Oh, Yudh, what do you mean by pesticide? Chemical that is used for killing the pest, harmful insects and animals. But we have to use biological, not chemical. And next one is vehicles which run with their fossil fuel should be stopped using. And we have to promote public transport rather than private transport. So I think it's better to start trains in different places which can carry large number of people. Yes or no? Nowadays electric cars are there, no dhua wala car. Dhua wala car gone. Now we have to call here Elon Musk and get some knowledge and idea, right? Elon Musk has become hero now. And the fertilizers which use nitrogen should not be used more because they produce nitrogen oxides, nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, that is also very harmful. So we have to pay attention towards this ozone layer depletion, protection, right? So remember definition and those formation method and harmful activities and control measures. Okay, so that is the end of this chapter. Next bell we will be discussing some other important questions. Okay, continue.